You're listening to episode 23 of the Afros and Pixie Dust podcast, Disney Parks Moms Panel with Raquel. Hey, Dis friends. Welcome to episode 23 of the Afros and Pixie Dust podcast. I am your host, June. So, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge officially opened this past week, this holiday weekend, and it was as lit as expected. The lines were out of this world, and I'm happy that I made the decision to watch from afar, but props to everyone who did brave the crowds and make their way out there to enjoy the opening day fun. I know y'all had a great time. I want to give a special shout out to all the cast members who held it down on opening day and beyond, because it never ceases to amaze me how you all can be on point that early in the morning and bring so much magic and joy to all of the guests. So big props to y'all. We see y'all and we are very thankful for all that you do for us fans. One of my favorite things about Galaxy's Edge opening was actually seeing the non-existent wait times for Slinky Dog Dash and for Flight of Passage in Pandora. I hope that this is not just a one-time thing, because I am a pretty big fan of Flight of Passage. Not too much of a Slinky Dog stan. As long as that helps further bring down the wait time for Toy Story Mania, I'm all for it. So thank you, Galaxy's Edge, for doing me a solid in that sense. If you're curious to see and know what Galaxy's Edge is all about, check out the highlights on Afros and Pixie Dust on Instagram, where Adriana, aka Bippity Boppity Broke, took over the stories and visited Batu during the pass holder previews. So you can get a little taste of what the land is all about, see some of her reviews on the ride, see her cute little BB-8, BROK3, I believe it's what it's named, and get ready for your trip to the edge of the galaxy. Welcome to September, everyone. We've made it through the summer. All of you parents out there, I hope that you've made it out in one piece, being home with the children. I know I am struggling and crawling to this finish line. School does not open for me until actually September 6th. So my kids are still on summer vacation. Yeah, let's move on. This is not only unofficially the start of spooky festival holiday season in the parks, it is also the start of the Disney Parks Moms Panelist search. So per their website, the Disney Parks Moms Panel is the ultimate digital resource for you all to receive helpful tips and heartfelt advice about Disney vacation destinations from real moms, dads, and in-the-know family members. The panelist search starts in September, and the panelists get selected sometime in October and announced in January. So if you are interested in applying or want to get to know a little bit more about what the panel is about, this episode is for you. This week's guest is Raquel. She is from Texas, and she is a wife to a Disney-loving man, a mom of two, a school librarian by day, and a blogger by night. She is a 3-time Disney Parks Moms Panelist, and she's been a part of the panel since 2013. Raquel and I connected early on in my Instagram journey, and she has been a constant source of encouragement and support for me, and I'm forever grateful to have met her, and I'm so happy to have her on the show. So without further ado, let's get into my conversation with Raquel. Hello, Raquel. Welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here.
So first and foremost, I just have to let the world know that you are like amazing to me in the sense that you have been like so supportive since I joined Instagram. And I just want to say thank you so much for all of the support and guidance and mentorship and friendship that you have displayed towards me, because without you, I probably would not have even started this podcast or
Oh,
done anything in this whole Disneyverse. So thank you so much.
no, no, you are welcome. You came in like a wrecking ball. And, this community needed just what you were giving. And I became a fan immediately. So kudos to you.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because you were the first follower of Frozen Pixie Dust.
Yeah.
And it went dormant 4 months and you stayed.
That's, hey, no, we got to
So,
support. You have to support.
yeah, so thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
And let's start off by having you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, well, my name's Raquel, of course. Little known fact about me, I'm actually a twin. I'm the cuter twin, though. But I grew up in Texas. That's where I live now. I grew up in a family of four. With the traditional mom and dad and everybody. Mom and dad worked the way they were, the way they should have. Now I'm a wife and a mom of two. I have a daughter who is graduating this year, and so my voice will probably always kind of shake a little bit when I say that. So she's graduating, and I have my son. I call him Dude. He's 11, and he's going in the sixth grade. And also, I work full time as a middle school librarian. So that's
Awesome.
pretty much it about me.
Yes, that's amazing. I mean, I'm gonna need your guidance for parenting as well because
Oh, oh, I got a lot. I got a lot. You
okay.
just so many things I made mistakes on, so then that way you won't make the mistake.
Yes, I appreciate anything. Like my daughter is 7 now, and she's
Oh,
starting to get to that phase. Like she gets teary,
oh my goodness.
and
Oh,
I'm like, I
yes.
don't know what to do.
You just kind of look at her and like, well, what's wrong with you? That's what
One
I do to my
day,
daughter.
I don't even know. Like one day she cried. It had to be legit for 5 hours, and she just couldn't tell me why she was
What?
crying. She was
Oh,
just,
that's that preteen sort of. Yeah, yeah. I'm still trying to figure out what my daughter cries about. She'll come in and I'm like, look, I don't know what you're about to be on your own in like a year. I need you to kind of, and we sit
yeah.
and we talk, and then I'm like, hey, can you stop? Can you tone it down, son? Because I don't understand what you're saying.
Mhm.
And you never will understand what they're going.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And I went through it, and I guess you go through it so differently with the newer generation because they have so many other things that are in the play.
Right, right. So I just told her, okay, it's okay to cry.
It is.
And if, whenever you're ready to talk or whatever, I'm
Just come
here.
and yeah,
And that's it.
yeah. That's all you can do.
Lord.
Love it. I love it.
So, when did your love of Disney first start?
Oh, now see, this is an interesting story that I tell people. I started my first love of Disney happened. You remember back they well, if the very first Disney Parks parade, I was 11 years old at that time, and I saw that and was like, "Where is this place? Oh my goodness!" Then they had the 1-800 number that you could call and get the get the VHS. It's way back in the day. And I would call every year and get this VHS. I even called them one time and said, "Hey, do y'all close for Christmas?" They were like they didn't know what I was talking about. Like, no, we don't close for Christmas. For real? But then, so about my love, it started then. Even my mom knew. But back then, my parents, we didn't travel like that or anything. So the odds of going when I was younger was, just wasn't gonna happen. Then as we kind of fast forward a lot of years, I met my husband, who actually entered a contest when he was in college at Southern University and won second place in a Disney sponsored roller coaster contest. And I was like, wait a minute, you've gone to Disney. Look, I didn't care about anything else. You've gone to Disney? Oh, that's amazing. Oh, yeah. Well, I knew I had to marry him because I'm like, wait a minute, if you've gone to Disney, then that means I'm going to get to go too. And surely as luck will have it, I was 27 years old. I had just gotten married the year before, and I took my first trip to Disney. So it started a long time before I actually got the chance to experience it. But once I started experiencing it, it's been nonstop ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing that
Yeah.
Disney was like a deal breaker for you.
Yes, it was.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yes, and I just even him, and I was like, oh, okay, you good, you're a fan. So we went the first time. I remember we stayed in the Port Orleans because he's from Louisiana, and so I was like, yeah, we're gonna stay here. We had the cool water view, and I was like, yeah, this is pre-kids, of course.
Hmm.
And after that, it's like I said, once, twice a year. It's all the same.
Oh my
Just been
gosh.
going ever since. Yeah.
You are giving hope to the women out there who are looking for a Disney loving husband or
Yes,
partner. So,
they are there. They
and the
are
men.
there.
So now everyone knows they exist
They
and
do. They do.
a family that Disney's together.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that is amazing. So,
Yes.
do you have a favorite Disney movie or show?
Yes, yes. Listen, well, of course, come on now. Disney's Princess and the Frog. I mean,
Okay.
I still watch that movie as if I'm watching it for the first time. I've watched it like at least a million times, and I'm still every time like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Hold on, let me pause it, so I can go. And of course, I'm a Marvel fan. I'm a Disney fan. I'm a hands down Disney fan. Any Disney movie, I'm gonna be there the night it opens. We get all the DVDs, and now all the digital um, e-recordings and things like that. But that one right there, I think it stuck with me because before then, I, I my love of Disney sometimes I struggled a little bit because I didn't see a lot of me in it at that time, and that Princess Tiana kind of brought it to full circle for me. And my daughter, she was. I was like, okay, you get to have a princess now. We get to go visit, a princess for you now. So that was probably my biggest. And I think my favorite show is probably the Proud Family, the Penny Proud, and Sugar Mama, which is ironic. I love Sugar Mama because I love Mama Odie. So I'm thinking that they're the exact same person.
Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to meet you in person. You're
I
like,
know. We gotta do it. We
you're a
gotta do it.
triplet, just so you know. You're not a twin, you're a triplet
Oh yeah,
because
come on. You know what? I believe that. Yes, yes, I receive it.
I see eye to eye. I was just talking to someone like my aesthetic is like Proud Family, kind of like
Yes,
that spectrum of like
yes,
Disney.
yes.
Like I can identify with that
That's
100%.
and that's me. Yeah, exactly. That's who I am. I'm the mom that looks at the kids and with the little eye, like, you better stop.
Oh my God, I love it. So,
Yes.
which character would you say that you identify with the most?
I'm gonna say Mama Odie because
Okay.
I have a whole lot of wisdom in my brain that I try to, impart on the people, and they don't listen sometimes. But that's okay because some things that come out of my mouth will make a lot of sense. You just have to catch it when it comes out. And but I'm thinking not necessarily the age, but just who she is, and she's still happy, even despite the fact she can't see, but she can actually see. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I identify with. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go her.
Yes. I love Mama Odie. I
Yeah,
love Mama Odie.
yeah,
Like,
yes,
I feel like she like her and Princess and the Frog, as much as, I love the movie and as problematic as it is at the same time, I'm so
yeah,
happy that Mama Odie was a part of that movie.
yes,
Like she was
yes.
so necessary for that movie,
She
and
was.
I think people don't understand like how dope she is. Like
I don't think Jennifer Lewis understands how important Mama Odie was to that
yeah.
to that whole entire movie. because you
Mhm.
didn't have she's not a traditional princess in the sense of princesses. She wasn't saved,
Mhm.
by somebody. She was strong. And then Mama Odie comes in and gives them the wisdom they need to make the right decisions. Not the decisions that she thought as a fairy godmother or whatever she should make, but
Mhm.
one that allowed them to make the decisions that were right for them. So that's what
Right.
I'm gonna try to do that as my kids get older, and just try to help them make the right decisions without telling them what to do. No,
Right.
I'm
Right.
probably still gonna tell them what to do.
You gotta just a little bit. Just a
A
little.
little bit, man, a little bit.
Make it seem like they made that decision themselves. But
That's my goal. Yes, I like that. Yes,
oh
yes.
my gosh, I love this. So, is there a particular way that you like to express your fandom?
I do a lot of posting. I do a lot of talking. Um, I do. Every time I meet anybody new, I think one of the first things I say after I'm a mom, or is, oh, I go to Disney. I'm a Disney fan, or and then of course, they look at me like I'm crazy. But I'm like, no, it's really not that weird
Mm-hmm.
to love it. Even when I was teaching in the classroom before I became a librarian, I would try to have some elements of Disney in one of my libraries. I actually used quotes from Marvel movies to notate rooms that were in my library. Like the conference room was the We Are Group room, so I'm like, hey, go back there in the We Are Group room.
Okay.
We're gonna have our conference back there. And so just even those quotes in a library really do a lot, because the kids are reading it and they're like, why you got all these words? I'm like, I don't know, probably because I'm in the library. I don't know, what do you think? And they're like, oh, that's why you have words. I'm like, yeah, because it makes sense. So I try to put it in anywhere I can, just that little bit of something,
Yeah.
just to kind of just so people will know who I am.
Yes, that's amazing. I love it. I love when you can incorporate your passion into your profession.
Yeah, yeah.
That is always like so much fun to do. And then especially when you work with children.
Yeah, and I work with older kids because I did elementary, for like a semester. But
Yeah.
after that,
You're like, nah, not
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah, I was like, I think I'm secondary. I really, but even my older kids, I can tell you this: when the Avengers, the last Avengers came out, I had gone to the screen. I went to school the next day. The kids said, "Miss, I know you saw it. Okay, okay, wait till tomorrow, and then we're gonna talk about it." I said, okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. We waited
Yeah.
about 2 days, and we had the biggest powwow about the movie and what we saw. And those kids, I mean, we had about 52 kids in there, and we were just talking all about the movie and what it meant. We try to figure out our own Easter eggs and things like
Hmm.
that. But kids, I think kids tend to understand my fandom more than adults. Adults have gone past the age of understanding, I think,
Hmm.
sometimes. So
Yeah, it's unfortunate for them, but
it is. It is. It is.
yeah, I mean, it's nothing. I feel like it's so important to keep some sense of youth or,
You have
something in your
to.
life.
You have to. I tell people all the time when they go to Disney, I said, well, if you're going to Disney, you can't go as an adult. It's very
Hmm.
important, because if you go as an adult, you're going to be bored. So you're
Yeah,
going to have to strip away all of that stuff that you're thinking about. You go as a kid, understand that you're there for your kids or even just for yourself, and you're going to strictly have fun. Don't worry about the lines long. Who cares? Go do something else. You know, it's still something else. And when you do it like that, you don't come back to me and say, I had a horrible time because it was hot. And this, I said,
hmm,
but as an adult, stop. Don't do that.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, get back into that child's eye and
Right.
yes, I 100% agree. 100%.
Yes.
So you have finally visited the parks for some time now. How often do you go?
We go about once or twice a year minimum. But we mix it up. We've done 10 Disney Cruise Line vacations. We've gone to Disneyland and Disney World. So I try to mix it up as often as I can. But definitely 1 to 2 times a year. I have to, and if I can get more in, I'll get it. I think one year I went about 3 or 4 times, and I think that included my very first solo trip. So that was part of that. That
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I definitely go every year. I don't know what we're gonna do because my daughter's gonna be going to college, so this will be our last. This next summer we're gonna go and we're gonna just do everything. And I'm thinking she's still gonna come home and we're still gonna go. Which is,
Yeah.
we'll probably never stop going.
Yeah. And then maybe she'll do the college program.
Maybe so.
And that'll be
Maybe
even better
so.
because you can meet her there.
Right. When we go for Christmas, she wants to do her senior pictures.
Okay.
But they don't normally have the ears out until around November, so we have to wait until then to get the ears.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be such a great moment for you guys.
Yeah. I'm still gonna probably get a little choked up, but I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite park?
I love all of them. But if I was going to pick one, I think Animal Kingdom theme park would probably be my most favorite. Only because it has way more shade. And since I've experienced a lot of the attractions now I don't really go as much for the attractions anymore. I'm just going just to be immersed in it,
Yeah.
and not it doesn't matter to me if we, are on this ride or in this line. We don't really care. It's just, we just go and just sit. But I think if I had to choose, I think Animal Kingdom. Animal
Yeah.
Kingdom. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Animal Kingdom is a nice chill
Right.
park.
It has just the right amount of restaurants, just the right amount of shade, just the right amount of attractions. Nothing is overdone there, and
Yeah.
it feels a little more laid back.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. What are your favorite things to do in the parks, whether it's Animal Kingdom or somewhere else?
You know, again, we it's the attractions. That's the draw to Disney World. Period. Disney World, Disneyland. That's the draw. But to be honest, there will be vacations we go and don't visit a park at all. We'll
Hmm.
do something completely, totally separate. We've done foot golf, which was really weird. I know that was just crazy. We've done the bowling at Disney Springs, taking a movie. Literally, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. But if I'm gonna go with my favorite things to do in the park, that's to eat. You know, I mean, at Magic Kingdom, the confectionery corner, they have the chocolate covered pineapple. That is, oh, that's amazing. So delicious. So
Okay.
maybe the food. I'm thinking the food. If I'm gonna do
Okay.
it, let's just go with the food.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sit down at one of those restaurants where you look down on the people because you want to look down on the people. You
Okay.
know, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. So you have been on the coveted panel that is known as the Disney Moms Panel.
Yes.
Can
Yes.
you tell us a little bit about what it is?
Yeah, the Disney Parks Moms Panel is basically a group of moms and dads um, who help guests that have questions about their own upcoming Walt Disney World Resort vacations. So we have different specialties. So you have the Walt Disney World mom, which is me. I'm Disney World mom. There's a Disneyland. There's a Disney Vacation Club, Disney Cruise Line. So we some of us have different specialties, and we that's basically it. We just help guests plan their upcoming vacations. And
Yeah.
because we're knowledgeable, and we're not knowledgeable, not as an expert, but as a regular Joe Schmo that has gone to the parks and has learned everything that we've learned, to give that wisdom to somebody else, to tell them how, a way to kind of get around a line, or when what's the best thing to do if you're not going to go to the theme parks, things like that.
Right. So like a peer review kind of site. or
Sort of. I mean, we still give the information is accurate, so that's
mm-hmm.
a great thing. So your information is still accurate, but you may say, Raquel, hey, I don't. What is that foot golf stuff? I'm trying to go to to the parks. I'm like, no, you don't want to just go to the parks. There's so many other things to do. And so then all the things that I've experienced, and then I, we give recommendations and things like that. So just kind of that's the whole gist of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you first start your being a part of the Disney Parks Moms panel?
Now, I joined in 2013, but I will tell you that was after 6 years of applying.
Wow.
So I I applied and I kept applying. I kept applying. I kept applying. I was like, my goodness, what is this? I'm like, don't they see me because I'm special too. And then of course then they saw me, and then there you have it. So yeah, since 2013.
Wow. Okay. And how many cycles were you in the panel?
Well, I am technically I'll say 2.5 because I'm currently in my third cycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll say 2.5. It's kind of weird to say 2.5, but since I'm in it now, then you know,
Right.
yeah.
So how long does the cycle last? From when to when? Is it a
Well, it
full year?
depends. They have different types of terms, and generally you're looking at a year, from a year to year term, um, and you just a year to year term.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the application process is nearing.
Yes, it
It's
is
coming
coming
around
up.
fast.
Yes, it is.
So
Yes,
can
it
you
is.
explain what that process is like?
Right. Now that process normally has 3 rounds. I don't know if it'll ever change, but generally, you're looking at about 3 rounds. When you're looking at round one, you're basically doing the whole get to know you. You may answer a sample question, something along those lines. I think and it'll ask about your love or when your last visit, and then you have round two. If you make it to round two, then you do a video, and could be a question over anything, and so you'll answer that. And then of course your third is your interview. um that process, when I finally made it past, I'll say finally made it past round one, to me it went so quick, and I kept thinking, okay, this is it, oh goodness, okay. And then the next one came, so for me it went quick once I made it past round one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So each cycle, do you have to reapply?
You do. Well, it's not technically reapplying. It's just more or less showing more of an interest.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just more or less showing more of an interest. So it's it's
Okay.
it's it's pretty easy to me, and pretty straightforward.
What is your favorite part of being in the panel, would you say?
You know, everybody. I get this question a lot, and I always say this is the type of endeavor that I would do unpaid. You wouldn't have to pay me a dime. I would do it anyway. I would volunteer for this. Um, just knowing that I'm helping somebody for real plans a vacation or their first vacation, or you know, it's something about it. But I enjoy helping the guests with their vacations. I like that they come to us and ask us for information, and I don't feel like it's just a random question. I believe that each guest genuinely wants the answer to their question. um, but it's kind of an honor to be trusted, to for them to ask that information. So I think that's what I love most about it. I just love it, period. And again, if it was nothing involved, I would do it for free.
Hmm.
It would, and I would do it. I would take the time out, because you know what? I was doing it for free anyway.
Right?
you
We
know,
all do, kind of, right?
yeah, everybody, because I'm sure you've helped people before I got on the panel. I helped a friend of mine. She planned for her kids, and she and I were going through. And I remember making schedules for some people and telling them, I was, that was, before, Fast Pass and all that other good stuff. But like I said, I was doing it anyway. It's something that you just like doing, and I don't think you think about it. I just think you just either love it or you don't love it, and there are people that don't, that don't appreciate it, and that's fine. But for those of us that do,
Right. Have you met
right.
any other moms from the panel?
I've met several. Um, the ones that were in my class, of course, and they are amazing. I met some from the other classes. They are hilarious and beautiful, and they each have wonderful spirits. I don't think I've ever met a group of people where there's nobody that I would say no, I would never. And that's really what this panel is. Of course, I don't know everybody because it's just
Mhm.
so big, but those that I've interacted with have been amazing.
Yeah. Have you made any friendships or still stay in contact?
I do. I have about maybe two or three that I am in constant contact with, um, and just they're supportive, and I like to support them when I can. And we don't live in the same areas, but the good thing is if I ever go to their state, it's like, oh hey, you're here, and but you do kind of make those friendships, and I think they did something right. I think they did a great job choosing the different personalities
Mm.
to, sort of kind of get along. So we've been lucky. I'll say that.
Okay, awesome. So you have to answer questions
Yeah.
from different potential guests.
Mhm.
What would you say was one of your toughest questions that you've had to answer since being on the panel?
I don't think any of them were tough or word tough. I don't know if I've had tough questions. I've had questions that made me think harder than normal because I wanted to give the perfect answer. Like for instance, I had one question, I had a direct question that asked, how do I get glitter from Bippity Boppity Boutique out of her baby's hair? We're talking about this is a baby of color, of course.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm sitting there like, okay, I got to give you the right question. Then I got to figure out how to say it in the right way because I wanna, you don't want to sound like, girl, let me tell you how to do it. And I think just giving her that, I was honored, by the way, because I was like, okay, now this is something I know because I have my own daughter that had that glitter, and I do a little old school, some old school stuff, a little baby oil and some cotton and a brush.
Mhm.
It's like kind of old school, but that that wasn't a tough question. Like you said, it was just one that made me think a little harder. And I
Okay.
think that's what they're never ever tough because these are things as a fan, we've already experienced a lot of this stuff anyway. But you just want to give the right, perfect answer for that particular time frame.
Right. Are
Hmm.
are you allowed to edit your answers after you submit them, or is that
No,
it?
not after you submit. You have to do all that ahead of time.
Okay.
That's one of the great things, in when you're doing the application process, you'll kind of get an idea of how that'll actually work out in the application process. So that's even better.
Okay, I see.
Hmm.
So there's moms all across the country and dads
And that.
that are vying to get a spot on this
Yes.
panel.
Yes. Yes.
So what is do you have for anyone that's interested in applying for this cycle?
The first thing, make sure the grammar and spelling is on point.
Mm.
Whatever you do. Also, giving everything its proper name. The castle is not the castle. It's Cinderella Castle. you know, it's
Okay.
not the train ride. It's Big Thunder.
Mhm.
You have to say those. Also, people that apply are already in love with the brand. So that is already going to shine through regardless of how you say it and what way you say it. And I say also don't be pressured to overdo it and be something that you're not. At the end of the day, who they're going to want is you. Hook
Mm.
line is they're going to want you in all your genuine responses. make the responses genuine for you, because that's what they want. They want that personality. You know, you don't want to do something and it's like, oh, well, I'm the ultimate Disney fan and this is what I would do. And every answer is perfect. No, no, you don't need a stroller. You know, stop it with, you know, just, but, you know, always answer it with your personality, you know, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. So I applied last year, as you know, because you
Yes, yes,
encouraged me
I
to do
do.
it.
Yes, yes.
And it was so stressful.
Oh,
You know, it was hard to get everything you want to say in the limited amount of words, but I will do it again.
good, good. I was just about to say, now you're going to do it again.
I will do it again and just see how it goes. Like,
Yeah,
I think, you know, the beauty's in the process, and
it
whether
is.
you get in or whether you don't, it's not going to stop you from going to the parks or, you know,
Exactly.
going to the movies either. So,
Right.
you know, I'm totally fine with whatever the decision, you know, that it comes to. So I definitely will do it again. And I
Good,
wish they had
good.
like a movie panel. I think
Oh,
that would
you
be
know
where I
what? If they
shine.
had that, I would be on that. I would sign up immediately, and I would do it because that would be great. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, I
That
mean, I
would
feel
be
like you need to
great.
know, oh, is this kid friendly
Right.
or I don't know, something.
Yeah, I know there's some bloggers out there who, you know, who really hone in on Disney movies a lot, and will, you know, they will give their judgment on whether or not movies are kid friendly. And I've enjoyed reading them because even though my kids are a little older, but I still want to know what other people think. Because
Yeah.
sometimes even what they think is not necessarily what I think. Like they might say, "Oh, well, 10-year-olds shouldn't see it." I'm like, "But no, my 10-year-old saw that movie, so you know." And everybody is different, but I love it. I do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I had a discussion a couple of weeks ago about Lion King, and I didn't realize how much of a minority I was in my opinions.
Mhm. Right.
But, you know, there were people that did agree with me, but most people didn't. But it was good to like have that kind of
Right.
varying points of view.
Right. Right.
So
Because even
maybe,
me, for the majority, I am very much in a minority about the movie. I didn't spoil it for anybody because the movie is already spoiled because it's the same thing.
right.
So you know, same thing happens. But yeah, I was in the minority. I loved the movie. I thought I had to kind of look at it, you know, with squinted eyes because I had to keep remembering that it's not real. You know, but yeah, yeah, it's one of those things, and I think everybody's opinions deserve to be heard, good,
Hmm.
bad, or indifferent.
Right. Exactly. And then I feel like maybe, I don't know, do you get to know the moms on the panel? Like, I know they have bios, but kind of can their personalities shine through on the panel, do you think?
I think so. I really do think so. The ones that I continue to talk with, when I know instantly when I read their answer, I'm like, yep, that's yep, that was
Okay.
her, that was her. So yeah, you do kind of know. And of course, if it's somebody you don't know or anything like that, then you still can even kind of get a gist of the personality, even in a lot of those answers. And that's one thing that I do like. And not everybody's the same. So you might
Hmm.
get a question and someone may answer it one way, and then you get 50 other different variations of a similar question, you know, because those different, there are just so many different personalities.
Right. And that's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking. Like, if you find a parent on the panel
Mm-hmm.
that you kind of connect with or you have similar interests to, then
Right.
you want to gravitate more to what their answer is for a question as
Exactly.
opposed to someone else.
Right.
So I think
Exactly.
that's good that they have a lot of varying different types of parents on there.
Yeah. And it's really it's done such a great job. It's even being diverse, and you know, you have a little bit of everybody. So everybody has somebody. So if you want to ask a question to somebody, you know, that you might feel that you can relate to based on the bios, you can do that. You know, and
Right,
it's
right,
enough that you have those choices.
right.
Hmm.
So can more than one parent answer a question?
No, not the same question. Not the
Okay.
same. But I think they do have. certain questions and certain type of aspects where every month they may have a question. And I'm sure you've seen it probably on the website, and everybody kind of answers. It's a couple years ago, and everybody answers that same question, but you still get 50 million different answers for
Right.
that one question, because again, everybody's experiences are completely different.
Right, right. And I guess if you have too many answers, then you kind of get that analysis paralysis, and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do now.
Right.
That's true.
It's like, oh, I'm done reading that. Okay, I've just read the first 15.
Yeah, your eyes go crossed, and you're like, okay, I'm not even gonna bother.
Exactly.
Very
Exactly.
true, very true. Oh, Raquel, I'm so excited that we finally got to talk.
Yes, I'm excited too.
Yes. So before we wrap up, I have a couple more questions for
Okay. I'm
you.
here. I'm here.
What would you say is your favorite Disney moment or memory?
I have a couple. It's,
Okay, let's hear
okay.
them.
Okay. When I had my daughter, and I think this would have been our second trip. I had my daughter. She was about 9 months. I suffered postpartum depression. It was pretty bad. And I remember one day my husband coming in and saying, "Hey, I got this bonus. If you could plan us a trip in the next 2 weeks, we can go ahead and go." I said, oh, 2 weeks? Okay, I can plan this trip. And that would have been my daughter. That's my daughter's first trip. And I think I remember that because I remember looking at the parade go by, and I didn't look at the parade. I was looking at her
Mm.
and seeing her. And then I think back to when I hear people say, "Oh, I want my kids to be older. I want my kids to be older." And I'm sitting there thinking, but then you miss out on moments like that. You don't get to see what I saw. Her just honed in on, all the sights and sounds and things like that. And even though I was in the state that I was, for that brief moment, it was gone. Of course, reality hit, and it comes back.
Yeah.
But that right there, remember that. I just remember her looking and me looking at her. And I remember any postpartum depression or feelings that I had were gone just for that moment. So that's a pretty cool memory. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Let's
That's
see.
beautiful.
Oh, and I was being terrible because she's about to graduate. So now it's like, oh my goodness. So I'm anyway. Let's
Oh.
see. I think another one was when we took our family picture. We did one of those Disney fine art photo sessions. We
Hmm.
did the Polynesian, and Duty, the little one, was 2 years old. I was like, yes, we're gonna be cute in this picture, just like we're gonna be the best looking family. We had the right outfits on. And then Duty ran into Seven Seas Lagoon.
Oh.
Yeah. My husband had to run out there after him because it's dirty out there. I'm like, oh Lord, please go get him. And so he comes out of the water, and the photographer is snapping pictures of Duty just as wet as he can be. And I was like, that right there was a memory. Because
Uh-huh.
you can't beat that. You can't beat that. I was like, what in the world? This kid is just then you have to do the kind of pretend thing. Oh, that's not my child. No, that's somebody else's child. And my husband's like, I can't believe he just ran in there because he just bolted. And I'm like, don't you ever run anymore. But I do remember that photographer just snapping away at those at
Candid
that.
moments. Yeah.
Yes. And so that one, I think, oh, my last one. Oh goodness. Okay, I participated in the Tinkerbell 10K, the very first one at Disneyland. Now, this was about almost a year after I got the fast pass to the finish line in the Tower of Terror 10 miler, right? Because they
Hmm.
get fast passes to the finish line after the first mile.
Okay.
Hey, my friends Sarah and Elantris know what I'm talking about when I say that. So I got that. So I was determined. I said, this time I'm going to finish this race. I don't care what happens. I went with my twin sister, who was a jogger, by the way, and I went with a friend of mine. And of course, they were both finished. I kind of come around the bend. At this point, I'm limping. This lady is talking to me on a bike. Where are you from? Like, if you don't stop talking to me, my feet hurt. I can't. Look, lady, I don't think I'll make it to this finish line. She's like, oh, no, you're going to make it. I was like, okay, I'm going to make it. Oh, okay. She kept asking questions. I said, oh, my goodness, if I have to answer a question and keep limping, it's just not going to be a good day. And I come around the bend, and I was the last to cross the finish line. But that's okay because Pluto walked me across the finish line.
Oh.
I finished. I finished. I was determined. I said, no more fast passes. That's why I should have a t-shirt that said no more fast passes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So she probably was trying to like cheer you along, but you were like, I'm not here for that.
I don't need any cheering. I did, cheering was, overrated at this point because, I think I had blisters. And what really made me mad, I called my sister and I took a picture. I said, hey, I came across last and and I remember laying, bending over to get my medal. I almost fell out. And my sister said, oh, okay, I've already been back to the room. I'm on my way back. I've taken a shower. I'm like, oh, okay. See, now that's not cool. How you go all the way back to the room, which was down the street, and then, oh, I'm on my way back. I've already come back and taken a shower.
Like, bye.
Yeah, it's like at that point, I no longer wanted to talk anymore. I was like, I was done. I'm good.
Oh, no. Well, congratulations for finishing, and you finished in
Yes, I did.
style at that. So
I did.
there you go. There you go.
I did.
Those are all awesome.
Thank you.
So, what is one thing about yourself that you would like everyone to know?
That just because I'm a Disney fan, it does not mean, first of all, that I'm rich. I don't know, I don't know if you get that. No, you must be rich. I'm not rich. I just plan accordingly, and I want people to know that it's okay to like what you like. Also don't be afraid to take your little ones to Disney World or to Disneyland or on the Disney cruise. I don't care. Take them because those memories that you have will last longer than the memory that they will have. So that's even better.
Right. It's so true.
Yeah.
I think some of my favorite moments were when they were infant parts.
Yes. Yes.
And it's so much easier. People don't realize how much easier it is to do the
and
parks.
cheaper.
Yes.
And cheaper. Let's be real.
Yes. 100% yes. Because they're not asking you for no souvenirs. They're not asking you for food.
Right.
They're free to get in. They can't go nowhere without you. So you're doing everything you want to do and under the guise of you taking your child there.
Right. People always say, I want them to remember. Okay, then why have a birthday party for them? They're not going to remember that, but you still go all out for the first birthday party. Why? Yeah. They're not going to remember it. So it's the same premise, And why not give them a full experience instead of just a partial experience?
Right.
Yeah.
100% agree. So this has been amazing.
Yes, thank you. I was so nervous. I was like, oh, I hope I don't say anything wrong.
No, well, I mean, you're being yourself, and that's all I ask. So I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been long overdue.
Yes,
so long overdue.
Has.
And this will be the first conversation of many.
Yes.
And if more people want to get to know you and learn more about you, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram and Twitter at DMochaTraveler. And I know it's really weird. But they can find me on both DMochaTraveler and, come by and say hi.
Yes. And I will link that in your show notes. And so everyone can find you.
Awesome.
So thank you once again for being. Thank you. And fingers crossed, toes crossed, eyes crossed that this cycle will be it.
Yes. You know what? This is it. Because it's done. It's done. It's done. I'm telling you, bring out, I love the bounding. I've already told you all this. I love the bounding. You have a beautifully unique way to tell your story. And that just needs to come through. When they get to know you, they will love you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
This has been great. Thank you once again. And I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, please. Let me know if you need anything.
Awesome.
Okay.
You've just heard my conversation with Raquel. Be sure to check out Raquel's blog and Instagram page for Disney movie reviews and parks and cruise advice. I hope she's encouraged you all to apply for the panel. The application period runs from September 5th to the 12th, so definitely consider it and give it a shot. You never know what might happen. I put a link to the Disney Parks Moms Panel website in the show notes. The application doesn't go live until September 5th, so just keep checking back to the website. And also just check out the panel in general. You never know what kind of advice is there that you thought you didn't know you needed until you did. Good luck to everyone that's planning on applying. I wish you all the best, and may the odds be ever in your favor. The POC-owned small business for this episode is the Afro Disneyak. It is a Disney-inspired clothing shop that is owned by Brianna Lee. Check out her stuff at theafrodisneyak.com. And as always, if you've enjoyed what you've heard, please be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share this podcast with all of your friends. And also be sure to join the Afros and Pixie Dust Facebook group so we can chat more about the Disney Parks Moms Panel. So until next time, never stop deep conditioning or pursuing your happiness.